Madam Web trailer just came out. Their response should be cancel the movie, get the tax write-off, call it a day. Boom, you're done. You can't possibly tell me this movie is actually going to make money in the box office. It is going to flop. It's going to flop hard. And the only people that are going to be surprised about this are the people that greenlit it and wrote this and acted in this ridiculous looking movie. What's the point of this movie? I mean, realistically, okay? Let's take a look at the universe it accompanies, okay? It's in the Spider-Man universe. So, what they're trying to do now with Morbius, with Kraven the Hunter, with Venom, they're eventually going to bring these characters into the Tom Holland Spider-Man world, or potentially the Andrew Garfield one, or the Tobey Maguire one. That is what their ultimate plan is. So, what is the deal with Madam Web? What is the deal with the Spider-Women? It just looks bad. It just looks like a bad movie. It's not going to make money. They know this. You and I know this. How did this movie get made? Can you imagine? Just think about this for a second, okay? All the hands that had to go into this movie's production, okay? Because the studio, of course, had the greenlit idea. Then they brought someone in to write the script. Okay, so then this guy wrote the script and said, wow, this is the best thing we've ever did. It's going to make a ton of money, okay? The script writers handed it over to the studios. The studio said, oh my god, this is incredible. This is absolutely going to kill it in the box office. Let's start the casting. So then, Dakota Johnson's agent saw this script and thinks to himself, well, my client hasn't been relevant since the 50 Shades of Grey series ended. So, with the way movies are going now, this is going to be an absolute box office bomb. So my client is perfect for it. This is going to get her name out there more, and she's going to be showered with roles. So many roles and so many opportunities. She's going to choke on it. Like a big old Christian Grey. She's going to gag on all these roles in the end. That ain't going to happen. So then after she reads it, she says, wow, this is the best script ever. I'm going to do this role, and I'm going to be a huge star again from it. And then they start making this movie. And at no point does anyone say, hey, this movie looks really dumb. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And then it goes into post-production. They say, okay, this is the final product. We got a winner right here. And then the dudes make the trailer and say, this is going to be the best trailer ever. And we're going to get the best song in all human history. And people are going to see this, and they're going to absolutely love it. We're going to showcase the highlights of this movie. They press upload. And then the internet says, this looks like crap. And the studio goes, what? Do you really? I think that might be how it went down. There is no one that can realistically tell me why this movie is going to be good. Based on everything going on in the world of Disney, Marvel, Hollywood, and Sony, there's no hope. There is no hope for this. And I'm just sitting here, I'm thinking like, okay, you look at the Tom Holland ones, there's unlimited potential there, okay? The Morbius movie, yeah, it wasn't a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it had a good structure for it. You got Jared Leto, Oscar-winning actor. Hey, I know he's kind of weird, though. He looked pretty good as Morbius. I didn't think it looked terrible. It wasn't a bad casting by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, the action was cool. The character was interesting. It was just a bad script. But at least with Morbius, you have things you can do with him. You have all these comic books, and you have all this potential with it and stuff like that. It's like, oh, is he going to fight Spider-Man later on? Is he going to go with Sinister Six? Especially with the ending of that where he hooks up with the Vultures. Like, okay, are these guys going to do something? It's kind of intriguing. I know it's a bad movie and all. I'm not trying to defend the movie. But at least there's interest for me for the future. That if you put a competent screenwriter and a competent director and you have a vision going on with it, I think they could resalvage this movie and turn to something great, though. And then you got Kraven the Hunter, okay? That's a coin toss. That's an absolute coin toss movie. Because you got Aaron Taylor Johnson, and he's fantastic in everything. Loved him in Bullet Train. Think he should probably be the next James Bond. But that movie, the trailer looks fantastic, and it's rated R, I'm pretty sure. And it looks bloody, and it looks gruesome, and it looks awesome, and it has all the great elements to it. And Kraven is such a great character. You got the guy who's the greatest hunter, and all he wants to do is just fight and kill with his bare hands the biggest animals out there. And I saw that he was in the Spider-Man 2 game fighting Venom barehanded, and that was pretty cool. So when I see that, I'm thinking, okay, if you want to go off with Craven on his own, and maybe he fights Andrew Garfield or anyone else like that, at least you have something going on with it. At least it looks cool. At least it has intrigue. At least it has a future. What does Madam Web have? Think about it realistically. If this movie does well, what's she gonna do next? She's gonna what? Be the new best Spider-Man? Okay? I remember her from the 90s cartoon, okay? She was an old blind parallelogram that sat at the nexus of the universe and would just pluck Peter Parker out of nowhere when, some kind of TVA-style incursion was happening in the universe, something like that, though. That's all she was. She wasn't a superhero. Were there comic books about this woman? I have no idea, and I don't even care about it. But then I look at this group of diverse Spider Women. It's like, oh, okay, so you girls are just gonna be the greatest group of all time. It looks so bad. I don't get it. I don't mean to keep reiterating myself, and I don't want to do this for this entire video, but it looks bad. And when I see things like female-led, and people saying like, oh, you just don't like strong, independent women or something like that, though, let me just turn the conversation really quickly about wrestling, okay? In the WWE, there is a team called the Judgment Day. It's comprised of 5 people: JD McDougal, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is currently the Raw Women's Champion, okay? Rhea Ripley, right now, is probably the best female wrestler in the world. And she could main event any pay-per-view she wants in the WWE. You can put her in a pay-per-view or a main event on a Monday Night Raw, and no one's going to walk out of the arena. And I remember when I went to see AEW Revolution, okay, there was a match with Tay Conti versus Jade Cargill. When that match started, everyone went to the bathroom. Everyone went to get a hot dog. Everyone went to the bathroom. No one cared about that. You didn't need to sit in your seats for a second, though. When Rhea Ripley's on screen, you're not leaving. You hold it. You'll be hungry for a few minutes, and you're going to watch the best women's wrestler in the world dominate. Now, back to what I was saying with the Judgment Day, okay? They had a thing in the Judgment Day where they were having a problem with their leadership, okay? Finn Balor was the leader at one point, and Damian Priest is the up-and-coming star, so then Finn Balor was kind of getting pushed around, and Damian Priest is rising up, and then they're butting heads, and then Rhea Ripley took over. Not because she's a woman, because she took over because she's a leader. And she's the champion, too. And she told Dominic Mysterio one time when he lost his belt, she told him, if you don't win that belt, you're sleeping on the couch. And then what happened? Dominic Mysterio won his belt back, and now the team is all filled with champions, and they're moving up farther than ever. And Rhea Ripley is the leader of the Judgment Day. And you know what? It doesn't matter that she's a woman. We like her because she's fantastic. Because she's the best out there. Because she puts on the best matches. Because she works harder than all the other women out there. And that's why we love her. So, to bring it back to Madam Web, you ain't gonna tell me we're gonna love this woman. We're not gonna watch this movie and say this is the best leader out there. These women are the funniest. And when I say stuff like that, though, people say things like, oh, well, do you know tomorrow's lottery numbers? It's like, no, bro. I'm looking at the industry. I'm looking at the flops. I'm looking at the stupid thing that these directors and showrunners are saying. Things like with the show The Witcher that, oh, it's not Henry Cavill's show, it's about this other girl, or things like that. I'm looking at the Marvel rumors that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be about Sue Storm and not the other 3 members. When I see things like that, it's like, okay, well, we know the direction you're going in. It ain't working. You're not making money. You're not going to have an all-female Fast and Furious like I've been hearing about, rumored around. It ain't going to work. They're not going to get out of the fucking parking lot. It's bad. And Madam Web, it was not a good trailer. And it's a character that no one cares about. And it's an actress that no one cares about. I don't know who this Sydney Sweeney is. I don't know. She's just an athletic-looking woman with big boobs. That's it. That's not enough to make me want to sit and watch her movies. I'm sorry, I don't care about that. That's not a reason for me to have to waste my time with watching a franchise because she looks good in a superhero outfit. I don't know. I don't even know when this movie even takes place, though. It must be some kind of a multiverse, because there's a lot of other Spider Women out there, and they all, they have the gear, so I don't even know where that takes place, but I don't even care. Because it looks bad. And it's going to flop, and we all know it's going to flop. And the smartest thing Sony could do right now is cancel it, get the tax write-off, and just retool, because it ain't going to work.